Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge. That's football. It's the FA Cup final. It's Chelsea versus Leicester. And first thing I'm going to say is I hope that we actually make it to full time this time. If you remember the last FA Cup final I did, I turned it off after 70 minutes because I was proper fed up with Anthony Taylor. So I turned it off. I thought he was a shambles. So hopefully we're not going to get that today. Hopefully we are going to get a good final. And hopefully, I've gone neutral. I've gone with blue because Leicester are blue and Chelsea are blue. But to be honest with you, I suppose Team Leicester. Yeah, Team Leicester. I mean, not massively. Not massively. I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, it's not a huge rival. I don't see Chelsea as a huge rival as United. I mean, although over the last couple of years, I suppose they have been in the past. But I just think it'd be nice for Leicester to win the FA Cup. They're, they've won a Premier League in the last few years, and I think to build on that Premier League and win another trophy would be good. Team news is Kepa, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, James for Chelsea, with Alonso in as the wing back. They've then got Kante and Jorginho with Ziyech, Mount, and Werner. Still no Kovacic back. I don't know. I don't follow Chelsea enough to know when or if he'll be back this season. But Schmeichel's in goal for Leicester with Fofana, Evans, Sionku, Castagnier, and it looks like 33 Thomas. Yeah, so they're playing a back five as well. Tielemans and Didi, Perez, Iheanacho and Vardy, James Maddison on the bench for them again as well. So quite surprised there. I think that weakens Chelsea, them, to be honest. Oliver Jones says lost 4-1 today. I don't care. Unlucky mates. So yeah, that's the lineup for Leicester. I think they are the underdogs. Man United played Leicester on Tuesday night. Wasn't massively impressed with them. Having said that, Chelsea on Wednesday night against Arsenal weren't that impressive either. So you could read into both ways if you wanted to there. I personally think that Chelsea will win this. I'm going to go with a Chelsea, maybe as high as 3-1 tonight. I think Chelsea will have too much for Leicester. Having said that, if Leicester defend well, they've certainly got the players that they can hurt Chelsea from set pieces and on the break as well. So we'll see. Ahmed, I don't know because you're doing it in capital letters and I haven't even looked at it. Would you like Leicester to win? I think so. Yeah. No, I do want Leicester to win. I think they're the underdog, aren't they? It's a 5:15 kick-off, so we'll be kicking off in about half an hour. Come on, Leicester, says Yaza. I would love Sancho to be a United player, but blowing the best part of our trial. Well, I'm going to talk about Sancho tonight at 8 o'clock on the United stand, so I'm not going to get massively into United transfer news tonight. Sorry for this. Will Walcott first goal for Southampton after joining, says Advath. And no top four for United if Manchester... Oh, God. I mean, there's just people who think it's the United stand. I'm not talking about Manchester United at the start of an FA Cup watch-along. It's an FA Cup watch-along. Simple as that. Have a good day, says Ahmed. Thank you, you too as well. Why is Maddison on the bench, says Mohammed. Answers on a postcard for that. I heard something about a bit of a dispute with the manager, which is stupid on his part, considering that this is an FA Cup final, and also he's got a slim chance of potentially going to Euros. So more fool him if he's done that. But maybe he'll go to Arsenal in the summer. I don't think any big club will be looking at Maddison, to be honest with you. If you look at what United have got in that position, what City have got in that position, what Liverpool and Chelsea have got, they're not going to be looking at Maddison. So he'd have to take a step back down, I think. Vardy is playing Subani's up front with Iheanacho. Pratt's on the bench. I can't believe it, says Renan. And why is Kepa starting, says Topi. Yeah, well, I think this is, and I'm sure we've got some Chelsea fans who can correct me on this. I think this is because this is the Cup team, isn't it? So the Cup team is therefore the team that the manager is going to stick with. What were you doing at Kiddie today, says Tom Quinn. Yeah, if you've seen my Insta at Goalbridge Mark, my daughter's team played at Kidderminster today because we played Kidderminster Harriers. And I think it's because it's the end of the season. Because they're under, it's a young side. I think because they're attached to that club and the season's over, they let them play on the pitch. So it's a nice little experience. So that's what I was doing there. But yeah, it's the Cup team for Chelsea. Therefore, Kepa plays in goal. Hey, Mark, what do you make of Aguero joining Messi in Barcelona, says Rob Larano. I don't know whether that's happening, but I think it's logical. And I also think that Aguero will still do a very good job in La Liga. So yeah, I thought it was quite logical that Aguero would go La Liga, although I don't know whether that's actually happened yet. Do you rate Chilwell? People say he's the second best left back after Shaw. Do you agree? Look, you know what? I said it on Twitter this morning. I think it sometimes takes bravery to change your opinion rather than stubbornly stick with something that makes you look an idiot. And I think on Chilwell, I've never really rated Chilwell that highly, even in his Leicester days, and many Leicester fans didn't either. I felt that he's defensively suspect. Having said that, I've seen him a few times in the last few weeks, and I think that he's played really well. And I think, therefore, I'm not just going to stubbornly just keep saying, oh, he's crap. I think he's actually done quite well recently. So, he's turning into a decent left wing back at Chelsea, and you'd expect him to for 50 million quid. Hi, Mark. How can Chelsea play a back five? I personally think that's embarrassing, says El Giro. Well, so do Leicester. And I think that this back five really is based upon, wing backs, isn't it? But I personally don't like back fives. I hope it doesn't become the sort of the way. I've seen Arsenal do it a bit this season. Obviously, Leicester do it. Chelsea do it. I don't like a back five. I like a back four. And I hope that we don't see the next evolution of football being a back five, because I don't like it. And I know the wing backs basically get forward, but it is three centre backs, and I personally don't like it. Even when Venables used to do it for England, I'm not a big fan. Vardy is the first player to play in all 14 rounds in the FA Cup, says Saban, and that's probably a record that will be hard to beat, because of course Vardy used to be at Fleetwood Town, didn't he? And he's played in the early stages of the FA Cup there as well. So well done to him. Fans are back. Yeah, we've got fans in the ground. That's a great point from some Europe. There are fans in the ground. I think there's like 20,000 in the ground. So that's good to see. Bit of atmosphere in there. I mean, interestingly, what I would just say about this game as well. David says if it works, it works. Conte's back five was good, says Ewan. This is an interesting thing for you. I think we spoke about it at some point last week, and I just want to bring it in because I think it's really important. If you look at the Premier League table, there's a very, very big chance that Chelsea or Leicester might not get top four. That they are masters of their own destiny, of course they are, but they might not get top four, and Liverpool might slip in and get it off them. Now, if you're a Leicester or Chelsea fan, you don't need to be. Leicester against Chelsea in the FA Cup final today, Leicester against Chelsea in the Premier League on Tuesday. You can only win one and you're going to lose the other. Which one do you want to win? Do you want to win the FA Cup, or do you want to be in the top four and get the Champions League? Now, a lot of people would say, well, as a Leicester fan, you want to win trophies. You want to win the FA Cup. But as a Leicester fan, you might also want to be in the Champions League. As a Chelsea fan, is winning the FA Cup more important than being in the Champions League next year, considering you're in a Champions League final? So, a lot of people going with the FA Cup. I'll be absolutely honest with you. If I was a manager of Leicester, if I was a fan of Leicester or Chelsea, I'd rather get top four. I know that's really horrible and it doesn't make sense, but I think that's the modern game that's been created. I think the FA Cup is devalued. I don't think it's I don't think the FA Cup is as I mean, look, Arsenal have won it. How many times have Arsenal won it in the last 10 years? 5? That's a lot of times to win the FA Cup. I mean, maybe it's 4. But I personally think the top 4 is more of a statement than winning the FA Cup. And that's sad. It is sad, but I think it's true. There must be about 20,000 in Wembley because they've got fans all around, spaced around. So there must be 20,000 in there. Aidan says, I'd go FA Cup just because you got top 4 means nothing. You can easily get knocked out in the group stage. Well, I disagree with that, Aidan, but that's your opinion. But doesn't fourth place miss out if Chelsea finish outside top 4 but win the Champions League, says Ian Dwan. I don't know about that, mate. That makes a little bit of sense, but I never know with those sort of things. But look, I think the thing for me is that the one that always rings to my mind is Wigan won the FA Cup and got sent and they didn't get sent off. Imagine that. You've won the FA Cup, red card. No, Wigan won the FA Cup and got relegated. Where are Wigan now? I don't even know. I don't know where Wigan is, and I don't know where they are in football. Like, I don't know where the place Wigan is, and I don't know where they are in football. If you said, how do I get to Wigan? I do what most people do, and I put it into my phone. But I know I've got to go north. But that's about it. Is it further north than Manchester? I don't know. I don't know where it is. But they won the FA Cup. Look at them. Arsenal won the FA Cup mid-table. So the FA Cup Today, you want to win it. But if you were offered that situation, I would take the top 4 over it. The FA Cup is not what it used to be, Mark. I remember when I was younger, it was a full day event for everyone, says Philip Burtonwood. Yeah, I mean, look, let's bring a bit of glamour back to the FA Cup now that I've dismissed it. I think that when you look at the FA Cup, look, the FA Cup was the game I remembered when I was a child. It was the biggest game in the calendar. It was one of the biggest games in the world. I don't think it is big. I mean, if we've got people watching outside of the UK, how big is the FA Cup now? Because it used to be one of the biggest games in football, the FA Cup final, because it's the oldest trophy in football, I think. So what a tournament it has been over the years. But on top of that, I remember used to get up on and it didn't matter who was in the final. My earliest game of football that I remember was the 87 Coventry Spurs game. That's the first full game of football I remember. I do vaguely remember United winning it in 85, and I sort of remember the Liverpool-Chelsea final because I thought it was... Liverpool-Everton final in 86, because I think Ian Rush hit it into the corner and hit a camera, which I thought was a log, but was actually a camera. But I remember 87, I remember 88, Wimbledon against Liverpool, and it used to be a big event. It would start at 10 o'clock in the morning and you'd follow the buses to the... You'd never get this now. It was a big event. If the kickoff would be at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and at midday, they'd have the programme on. They'd have the programme on Match of the Day BBC. It'd start at about 11 o'clock, even though you would never get that now. BBC coverage of the FA Cup used to start at about 11 o'clock for a 3 o'clock kickoff. And you'd have at 12 o'clock, they'd have helicopters above the bus showing them the buses going to the ground. It was a huge game. It's so hard to relate to the younger generation. You're going to call me a Zoomer or a Boomer or whatever now, but it was absolutely massive for a very long time, the FA Cup. And they devalued it. They devalued it by, I think the Premier League, as soon as the Premier League came along, it started to lose its value as well. And then the Champions League as well. Roy Keane on Sky Match Reaction said the squad needs at least 3 or 4 big signings, and with these 2 in the middle, they can never win the league, says Magnus. Well, that's for United stand Magnus, but thank you very much. Got £192 on Leicester, get 504 return. Wish me luck, says Logan. Well, I think a lot of people will be behind you, Logan, on that one. But look, it is sad, but everything changes but you. As as Take That once sang, everything changes but you. I'm 1,000 miles apart, but I know I love you. Everything changes but you. But it doesn't. But the FA Cup does change. The FA Cup does change. It isn't the cup it used to be. And you know what? I'm not great on change. I don't know what you lot are about. I'm not massive about change. I like to order the same takeaway. I like to, I like what I like. I like what I like. But I'm not opposed to new things, but I like what I like. And I've got to be honest. I'd like the FA Cup to have continued popularity, but I do think that football has to move on. It does have to move on, and I think that the Premier League and the Champions League have become the 2 big tournaments in football. I'd rather be in an FA Cup final than a Europa as a United fan, says Charlie. You're an idiot, Charlie. You're a bloody idiot. The Europa League, if you win it, gets you in the Champions League. The Europa League is bigger than the FA Cup. Come on. You're not a United fan. So basically, you'd rather be Arsenal last year than win the Europa League. Nah, not for me. If you want me to... If you force me into it, then let's rank every cup you can win as a Premier League side. So you've got the Community Shield, you've got the Premier League, you've got the FA Cup, you've got the Europa League, you've got the Premier League. And the Carabao Cup. I think I've said that. So let's rank them. Well, the worst in at number 5, we've got the how many? Carabao, FA Cup, Community Shield, Premier League. There's 6. Okay. In at number 6, Community Shield. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a charity trophy at the start of the season. Don't care. There's 7 actually. Super Cup would be number 6. Not bothered about the Super Cup. Played at the start of the season. Hindrance, couldn't give a shit. Means nothing. Super Cup, okay. In at number 5, Carabao Cup. Yeah, not great. Whatever. Let Pep win it every year. It's a Poundland FA Cup. So in at number 4, the FA Cup. devalued, not the tournament it used to be. If you win it, you go in the Europa League. You can get relegated winning it. You can finish mid-table. No, not interested. Third place, Europa League. Europa League is the third best trophy you can win because you can get into the Champions League with it. Very, very good competition in relation to opposition who take the European teams take it very seriously. Number two, I would say Champions League. I think the Champions League is the second best trophy you can win. And number one is the Premier League in mine. So there you go. I'm ranking my trophies. The best you can win is the Premier League. The second best is the Champions League. The third one is the Europa League. The fourth one is the FA Cup. The fifth one is the Carabao Cup. Sixth one, Super League. Seventh, Community Shield. There you go. I would not put the FA Cup over the Europa League. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But I think the Europa League is harder to win than the FA Cup, and the reward is bigger. So, you know, it's like comparing BBC to Channel 5. I think you can rank the Champions League ahead of the Premier League if you want to, but it depends on your circumstances. As a United fan, I would rather win the Premier League than the Champions League at the moment, but I think if you're a Man City fan, you'd rather win the Champions League than the Premier League, of course. And I think Liverpool, for a long time, would have rather won the Premier League than the Champions League. Just depends. If you're an Arsenal fan, you'll take the bloody Community Shield. Anything will do at this point. I've got to just say, Sandith says you're a Europa League merchant. I don't like the Europa League. I hate the Europa League. I really don't like it. It's a Poundland Champions League, but I'd rather win it than the FA Cup. I've just realised United are in a Europa League final, so it makes it sound very biased. But if you ask me this next season and United were in an FA Cup final, I would still say I think the Europa League's better. Doesn't winning the FA Cup get you to the Europa League? Lads who say they don't prefer Europa, then what's the point of the FA Cup? Says Sheikh. Good point. I said Anaj says you said the Europa League final is the Emmerdale Cup. It is. I didn't say it was a good. I want to be honest with you. Let's just cut through the crap here. As a United fan, and it might be the same for some of you who aren't United fans. For me, real success is winning the Champions League or the Premier League. Anything else, you're there to be bantered. I mean, all right, it's better than winning nothing. Of course it is, but they're the big trophies. The Champions League and the Premier League. That's where you really can start arguing about being a really great team. You're winning the FA Cup. Well done. You know, it's a bit like most improved player. You know, I don't know whether many of you've played football in your life, but you know, at the end of the season awards, when you go to the end of the season awards and your mum and dad goes and everything like that, and you might do it when you're 30, in which case you might want to take your wife, but or your partner. But did you ever used to go to these awards? Right, when I was a young lad, you always used to get a local player who'd come along and do it. So you used to get like someone like Tommy Johnson from Notts County or Ian Wone from Forest or something like that, and they'd hand out the awards. And I never used to want to get most improved player. There was only 4 awards. There was player of the year. It was manager's player of the year, player's player of the year, most improved, and I think goal of the season. They were the 4 awards. There might have been a couple of other ones as well. But basically, most improved player of the year was 100% you're shit and you've not been as shit as we thought you were going to be. Nobody wanted that. And I think it's a little bit different now because you might be like, but no, that's still the case. I think that is the case, and I just feel like the FA Cup, you know, this used to happen to me quite a lot. So you go to your end of season awards, you don't win Players Player of the Year, you don't win Managers Player of the Year, and you don't win Goal of the Year. I would rather not get anything than get most improved. Like, I'm happier not getting anything. And I think winning the FA Cup is a bit like that. It's not the Champions League. It's not the Premier League. It is something, but it's, you know, and it is better than nothing in those circumstances, but it's nowhere near getting Managers Player of the Year or Players Player of the Year. It's basically most improved. Mark, who's the greater, Vardy or Kane? Also, if Juve lose to Inter, they are in real trouble of finishing outside of the top 4, says YUFC. I mean, I don't know. Most successful FA Cup club is obviously Arsenal. There you go. James said I got the most improved player for this season. Oh, that's a violation, James. I've just buried you then, really, haven't I? I hope you know what most improved player means. If not, oh dear. Mark, do you think the FA Cup started to lose its appeal when Man United pulled out? Also, maybe these foreign managers just don't get it. I think, look, I'm not disrespecting the FA Cup, I'm looking forward to this game, and I think that both teams will be massively up for it, and I think it's going to be a cracking game between two good teams. The great thing about this final tonight is that we've got no... Chelsea are the favourites, but it's not like Man City against Wigan, although Wigan won. Yeah, but although it's great when the underdog wins, I actually prefer to see two close teams play against each other as a neutral, and I think that we should get a good game in that sense. But you can only be most improved if you had a lot of space to improve in the first place. Oh God, I've upset the most improved crowd now. But in relation to the FA Cup, why do I think it lost its glamour from when I was growing up? I think it lost its glamour because teams started putting out reserves, and I can't remember what year that started to happen, but teams started putting out reserves. Like, look at Chelsea. They've got a cup goalkeeper. Would they do that in the Champions League? No. Straight away, there's you can defend the FA Cup as much as you want to, but the disrespect has always been the reason the FA Cup has lost its glamour is because of the clubs themselves. They started putting out weakened teams, and when you start putting out a weakened team, that's the problem. I remember watching Match of the Day in the late 80s, and whenever it was the FA Cup, it was exciting. You used to get Sports Night and on a Wednesday night on BBC, and you'd have FA Cup replays. Match of the Day FA Cup on a Saturday for the third round was amazing because, you'd get United putting out their best team against, Rotherham or something like that. So that's the problem with the FA Cup, is that the schedule in the focus on the Premier League and the Champions League is so important that the FA Cup is less important. And I think I can understand why clubs do that, because if you are Arsenal, not this year or that year, last year, I'm trying to think of a team that fights for top four. Not Arsenal. If you're Spurs or Everton and you have an FA Cup third round game in January, but you're still in with a chance of getting a Europa League spot or a Champions League spot, I think what those clubs do is they prioritise resting their best team and making a few changes for the FA Cup because, we might be able to get fourth or we might be able to get fifth. I think if top place got Champions League football and second place got Europa League, I think a lot of teams would actually go for the FA Cup more because the FA Cup gets you in the Europa League as well. So I think teams disrespect it, and also I think it works both ways as well. How many relegation threatened teams end up putting out a weakened team in the FA Cup because they want to stay in the Premier League because it's more money? So the Premier League has actually destroyed the FA Cup because staying in the Premier League means that the relegation teams will rest players in the FA Cup. Getting in the top four means that probably the top 8 will rest teams in the FA Cup. So what ends up happening is you end up most of the time with Man City or Chelsea or someone like that getting to the final because they've got a big enough squad to rest players and play better players. This is why Man City keep winning the Carabao Cup, because their reserve team is better than most people's first team. Started to become irrelevant when it started to become the only thing that kept Arsenal relevant, to shake. Yeah, well, the fact that Arsenal have won it a lot sort of gives you a hint about the quality of the trophy, really. Because I think if everybody tried, I don't think Arsenal would win it as much as they have, and I think even every Arsenal fan would admit that. But we're only about 8 minutes away from kickoff here because it's a 5:15 kickoff. I thought it was 5:30, but it's a 5:15 kickoff. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner, and smash a like on the video. We've got 5,000 of you good people watching, and we are on the road to 400,000 subscribers, which I was hoping to hit before the end of the season, which, considering the end of the season is the Champions League final in 2 weeks' time, we could still do it. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. You're very welcome on here. Remember, everybody's welcome on this channel because it's not club specific. So everybody's welcome, and get involved in the chat. Why does Ollie keep playing Rashford on the right wing, says Marketing James. This is not the United stand, Marketing James. This is That's Football. And it's an FA Cup final. I don't know who the referee is. I'm going to find out for you now, because the referee last season caused me to want to not watch the game. So it's Michael Oliver. Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Michael Oliver's the ref, everybody. That makes it so, great. I tell you what, I did feel sorry for Chelsea in the FA Cup final last year. Anthony Taylor was unbelievably shit. He really, really was. He was. If anyone can remember, have we got anybody in the chat who watched the watch along for the FA Cup final last year, Chelsea Arsenal? I actually ended the stream 20 minutes before the final whistle. I just had enough of Anthony Taylor. But look at that, fans back in the ground, and quite a lot of fans back in the ground. I believe there's 20,000 there. So it does give it a better atmosphere, and it's exciting to see those fans back. Football needs the fans. Can I just say as well, not a big shout out, that's the wrong word. Thoughts and prayers with people in India. Absolutely massive amount of COVID there. And of course, it's now, unfortunately, potentially a threat for the rest of us as well, because there is potentially this strain that could, is a different strain that could come back across Europe as well. So hopefully that won't be the case, but we will see. We will see. But yeah, stay safe, keep doing what you're doing, and here come the players out onto the pitch. Mark, I got tickets to Villa's last game of the season, says Arthur J. Yeah, well, apparently, well, not apparently. The players are the fans are back in the on the pitch from Tuesday, Monday Night Football, isn't it? So, I think 10,000 can play, not play, watch. So, players coming out onto the pitch. Just tweeting out the link, which is great. Prince William's coming out. I believe he's an Arsenal, a Villa fan. Goldfinger. Ow. Ow. So what are we going for score predictions, everybody? I'm going to go for 3-1. 3-1. Seb's got a cough. You can't help coughing. Will we be kicking off at 5:15? 4 minutes? I don't know whether they're going to clear all that in 4 minutes. I think it's more likely to be 5:20. Regarding the position of Premier League now, do you think England deserve 5 teams in the Champions League per Eric Klassen? No, not really. Some people are going 2-1 Leicester, 1-0 Leicester. I mean, it could be quite tight. Arsenal are quite... Sorry, Arsenal. Why do I think... It's the FA Cup. Why am I talking about Arsenal? I'm obsessed with Arsenal. Arsenal fans will clip that now and say, look, he's admitted it. Well, I don't know why I've got Arsenal in my head today. After today, Arsenal will be back where they belong. Trophyless, says Mario. Thank you for the super chats, by the way. I don't think the Premier League should get 5 Champions League spots. I think 4 is more than enough. To be honest with you. So yeah. But yes, I think that this game could go one of 2 ways. It could be quite open and we might get 3 or 4 goals. Otherwise, I think it could be a 0-0. I mean, we might even get extra time. And nobody's even spoken about that. But I like the look of that Wembley there. Look at that shot there. There's a lot of fans in the ground. And I think the players will it's a proper treat. It's a proper treat. And you know what? Talking about the FA Cup, it's nice that the FA Cup gets the glamour of the biggest audience that we've seen on English soil for over a year. Since March of 2020, this is the biggest crowd we've seen in a Premier League, in a football stadium in the UK. So, yes, cracking to see it and looking forward to it. I hope it's a good game, but I do think that Chelsea will probably win it, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea. Chelsea wearing their new kit as well. Lots of teams launching their new kits at the moment. Leicester, interestingly, are apparently going to bring in Samari from... he's at Lille, isn't he? And I've got the feeling he's going to be another Fofana, another Ndidi, another Kante, another Castagne, another good scouted player that will make that people will go, oh, wish we had him, and Leicester go, yeah, you can have him for 80 million if you want. Mount's going to score, says Caro. Well, I think for me, Mason Mount is a contender for Player of the Year. I've been very, very impressed with him this season. But I hope we get a good game. What are your thoughts on the UEFA Conference League, says Subbo? My thoughts on it, Subbo, is that I've got no idea how it works. And if you said, hold on, I'll find you the details, I'd say, crack on and talk to your hand. Talk to the hand, boyfriend, because I ain't listening. The face ain't listening. And that doesn't mean that me and Subbo are in a relationship. I meant he's a boy and he's a friend. Not that I've got anything wrong with that, but I'm not. I'm married. If you like it, then you put a ring on it. Could they make it so that fourth goes into Europa and FA Cup winner gets Champions League, says Corbs? I'm definitely against the FA Cup winning. I don't know about everybody else. We're about to kick off here. I'm against the FA Cup winners getting a Champions League spot over fourth place. And my reasoning for this, and I might have changed my reasoning over the years, and I might change it again in a couple of years, but I don't think that the FA Cup winner should get Champions League football compared to fourth place. Because if you come fourth in the Premier League after 38 games, like Leicester, and then Arsenal win the FA Cup but finish mid-table, who deserves Champions League football? Who's the better team? I would say that the team that's finished fourth in the Premier League over 38 games, playing everybody twice, is better than a team that's won 6 or 7 games, and they might have won 4 or 5 of those at home against bloody Rochdale and Swindon and Wigan. So I think fourth place deserves Champions League football more than the FA Cup. It would certainly make the FA Cup more competitive, but come on, I think fourth place deserves it more. Lots of people don't like the Chelsea kit. It's hard to maintain a good kit every year, isn't it, really? Please smash a like on the video. We're about to kick off, and we have kicked off for the FA Cup Final 2021. I'm just about to put the timer on the screen. It should be on the screen. It is on the screen. It's in the wrong position. It's a bit like Fred and McFred. There we go. We've got it going. It's in the wrong position still. I don't like it there. Don't put it there. I don't like it there. That's what she said. Anyway, Arsenal get good kits every year, Mark, says Paul. Yeah, but all the gear and no idea comes to mind. I'd rather have the shittest kit. I don't care if Man United win the league in red bin bags, as long as we win the league. I don't think the Glazers will release the United kit until they buy Jadon Sancho, and then they'll release the kit and everyone will bloody buy it, won't they? Because that's how fickle some football fans are. Who's the captain on the pitch for Leicester, says Sam. I think it might be Johnny Evans. I'll confirm that for you. Actually, I don't know. I don't know because bloody helpfully the BBC don't put captain next to their player. Keep an eye out for their arms. Oh, a nice ball in behind here for Werner. Early chance for Chelsea. Werner. Oh, Fofana does well. I mean, keep your eye on Fofana. I like Fofana. I think he's a good player. Schmeichel's the goalkeeper. I would have been looking all day because I never would have looked at the keeper. Yeah, so Schmeichel's the keeper for Chelsea. Not for Chelsea, for Leicester. He was a player that was potentially going to Chelsea at one point, Kasper Schmeichel. Only if there was a woman with your football and verbal IQ, not looks though, says Subbo. Yeah, we could have a good. If we were married, Subbo, we could just chat about football and stuff, but there'd be no intimacy. We'd be like posh people. We'd have separate bedrooms. The game has started off well. It started quite well and open. Quite well and open. God, I think. Who even does the commentary for the BBC? I just don't listen to commentary anymore. But yeah, lovely to see some fans in the background. Here's across, and it's Kepa who's got hold of it. Of course, Kepa's in goal for Chelsea today. That could be a possibility. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, we're on the road to 400k. Trying to hit it before the end of the season. And of course, next season we kick in with Euros on this channel. So we'll be doing at least 1 or 2 games a day for a month on this channel. Euros. I'm looking forward to the Euros. Here's a question. I like to throw a question into the chat. How many fans are allowed into the games in the Euros? Now, I know in the UK that there will be fans in the ground, limited. But is that the case in the games that are being played in other European countries? Are they going to have fans as well? I don't know what the situation is in others. So, yeah. Yeah, I know in the UK there will be people allowed in, but I don't know what the case is, because the way I understand it, a lot of these games are going to be played outside the UK as well, aren't they? So like Sam says, it will be subject to the country's FA. What's the case in Italy? What's the case in Spain? What's the case in France? Have they got any fans in the grounds at the moment? Germany? Dun, 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 dun. So Chelsea on the attack here. Good start by... good start to the game. It's been quite open, which is good to see. We want to see that today. Don't want to see... and remember that both these teams are playing each other on Tuesday night as well. Fofana across, very strong. Did you know that Fofana's only 12? Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, it's unbelievable because it's not actually true. I think he's 22. Why are they booing Alonso? Probably Leicester fans. Alonso, I think Alonso gets booed because he was involved in that RTA, wasn't he? I think, unless he's done anything to Leicester in the past, I don't know. Corner for Chelsea here. So corner to Chelsea. One of the best teams in the league from scoring goals in the Premier League is Chelsea. You know the worst team at conceding set pieces in the Premier League, Manchester United, which won't come as any surprise to any United fan because we are absolutely shite. Headed away. That's cleared away by Leicester now. It is funny about Maddison, because does anybody actually know what's going on with Maddison? Because it is weird with Maddison. He's a good player, and I think it makes them... road traffic accident is an RTA. Sorry, I'm doing old line of duty stuff here. OSU, Operational Support Unit. Chiz, Covert. I should know that. God, I used to work in that line of work and I can't remember what Chiz is. Covert. Oh, I can't remember. That's terrible. Maddison is not injured. He and Rodgers are fighting, says Seto. Chelsea have started well, says Rowan Smith. Yeah, it's another corner here for Chelsea. Yeah, but these two teams are playing each other on Tuesday in the Premier League. I'm going to try and do a watch-along for that, but the turnaround is quite tight because I think United are kicking off at 6 and then you've got Chelsea at 8:15, so I might just have to do a later one. Cross comes in, headed away by Leicester again. Reece James gets it. Lovely cross. Second ball for Leicester. Sionku heads it away. Tillemans doesn't really complete the job, and Chelsea still have it. What's your favourite stadium apart from Old Trafford, says Subbo? I think in England, my favourite stadium, and answer it yourselves, I've always liked Goodison Park. It just feels... Goodison Park is probably one of the only stadiums that just reminds me of being a kid. Like I used to watch. I think it was called The Match on ITV at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon. And Goodison Park really hasn't changed that much. I do like Villa Park as well. I used to like Highbury. I don't like the Emirates. I used to like Highbury. Yeah, as you can tell, I like the older stadiums. I mean, do I like the new Wembley? I don't know. The old Wembley. I preferred the old Wembley because it had history to it, didn't it? The big walkout. I mean, it needed replacing, but Vardy gives a goal kick there. So nice to see fans in the ground, says Vignesh. Yes, big thumbs up to that. Are fans allowed in the Europa League final? Favourite stadium other than Old Trafford is Anfield, says Vignesh. That's a bit weird. Can't go from United to bloody Anfield, surely, if you're a United fan. But yeah, there are. I think 10,000 tickets for the game in Gdansk. Never gonna Gdansk again. Pepe's feet, he got to no rhythm. No, we're never gonna Gdansk again. The way United do. Yeah, I think it's 10,000. Yeah. What are you having for dinner, Mash? I don't know, because I had fish and chips for lunch. I was hungry at lunchtime, so I had fish and chips. So I'll probably have something light tonight. Ball over the top. Vardy does well. Goes for a goal kick. Yeah, I don't like that yellow stripe down the side of the new Chelsea kit. I've only just noticed that. I don't mind the yellow Nike, but I don't like the yellow stripe down the sides. Did Chelsea traditionally have yellow on their top? I don't know. Juventus are beaten Inter 1-0, says Loveday. We'll keep you up to date on that in a minute. Nice layoff there by Werner. He does quite well, actually, and then loses the ball. Bit scrappy in the first 10 minutes there. I think Chelsea will win it. Good tackle by Ndidi. Johnny Evans is in. Rolls it in. Vardy lays it off. Yeah, but to me it feels like Brendan Rodgers is a B-Tech Arteta, says H. I think Arteta's a B-Tech Rodgers, to be honest. Delhi has scored a banger off the bench against Pep Guardiola. Thoughts? Can this story be true? Says Ali Afshak. And Mark, this camera angle is making me dizzy, says Ature. Yeah, that's the problem with Wembley. Thanks for the super chats that are coming in, by the way. If you want to do one, you can do it on the $sign. Thank you very much. The GOAT scores once again, says Thames. It's 1-1, apparently. David Hill says, this is the worst Chelsea kit Nike have ever made. Thoughts on Leeds' performance today, says Owen. Typical Leeds. They can win, they can smash anybody, and they can get smashed by anybody. Still will 1-0 for Juventus. So yeah, I'll tell you what's going on in that, actually. Just while the ball's out of play, let me tell you what is going on in Serie A. So the table currently, with only one game to go for a lot of teams, is that Inter Milan have won it with 88 points. Atalanta are second with 78 points and only one game to go. So they will be finishing in the Champions League spot. Milan have got 75 points. Juventus have got 75 points. And Napoli have got 73 points. However, if Juventus win, they've got 75 points because it's as it stands. Napoli still have their chance to play. So Juventus do desperately need to win this game against Inter Milan because Napoli are playing Fiorentina. AC Milan are playing Cagliari. And then the final game week sees Milan play into Atalanta, who have already got top four. And I'm trying to see who Juventus have got. Napoli play Verona at home. Juventus play Bologna away. So, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult for them, for Juventus. You can see Juventus not finishing in the top four, to be fair. You can see why people were talking about it. Yes, there is a United stand at 8 o'clock tonight. But the game so far is going the way you would have expected the game to go. Chelsea having a lot of the ball. Leicester looking to hit on the break. How come Man United have the most expensive kit deal, but somehow our kits are just average, says Subbo. Yeah, I've been a bit disappointed with Adidas, really. The Adidas kits in the 80s were brilliant. And I don't think they've really... Adidas do some good kits, because I think Arsenal are Adidas now, aren't they? But they don't really seem to ever do a great United kit. Mark, do you think the FA Cup is still a big trophy to win, or is the relevance fading, says Vignesh? Well, we spoke about it before the game, Vignesh. It's still a... You'd rather win a trophy than not win a trophy, but I was saying this before the game. Chelsea play Leicester on Tuesday in what really, if you get the 3 points, will get you top 4. And if you don't get the 3 top points, might not get you top 4. So I would argue that maybe that top 4 spot is more important than winning the FA Cup. Not for some fans, of course. I think Ronaldo might leave Juventus if they don't get top 4, but I don't see him coming to Manchester United. He could go to Chelsea. Imagine if Chelsea bought Ronaldo. That would be hard. Here's Rudiger. Shoots from distance and it goes wide. Have you seen Arsenal's new away kit? It's like a creamy yellow colour, says Jack Lynch. I think I have seen it. I'd question why Arsenal fans are looking to buy it. Are you off out now?
Yeah.
See you later. Where do you see Ronaldo going, says Nicola? Well, he might not be able to go anywhere because, Juventus would have to want to get rid of him. Why does Rudiger wear a mask, says Zaki? Good question, don't know. Nice ball there. Kante picks it up. Of course, the interesting thing is that the Champions League takes place 2 weeks tonight. And Chelsea have got so many tough games before that Champions League game. And I wonder whether that'll be an advantage or a disadvantage. Man City have definitely got the foot off the pedal. You could say they can, take their time and just keep their physical, keep themselves physically fit. Whereas Chelsea are going to be playing, 3 cup finals before they play a cup final. Today, the Leicester game on Tuesday, the final game against Villa. These are going to be games that they must win. Good cut back there, and Vardy's shot gets blocked in the 6-yard box. Should he have done better? Should have done better. Let's have a look. First big chance. It's down into the flank. I think it's all Brighton who gets there. Pulls it back to Vardy in the box, and he hits it straight at Reece James. Reece James is quite close to him, really, so he can't really get the shot off. But it was close. It was a chance. Wouldn't say it was a sit. Kovacic back is a major boost. Is he back, Said? Yeah, it's good. I like Kovacic. But Leicester will be happy with the first 16 minutes. Thiago Silva there, just playing it back to Kepa. I like Reece James as well, Ollie Moore. I think he's a good right back. I mean, I know he doesn't get picked very often, but I do rate him. Ooh, I will be yawning a bit today. Heavy night last night. Do you think Declan Rice could be as good as Kante or Casemiro, says Sibo? I don't think he's as mobile as those two players. I think he could be as impact. He could be a really good CDM, but I don't think he's going to be similar. Advantage Man City. It's so confusing for Chelsea. They know they have 2 chances of getting Champions League football next season. They could miss out completely, says Vignesh. Paco says Kepa or Mendy. Mark Mendy, 100%. Reece James is actually playing on the right of a back 3 at the moment. That's a good observation, actually, because it's Silva, Rudiger and Reece James and Azpilicueta as the right wing-back. Imagine if Kepa was the right wing-back. Although Reece James has been getting forward a bit. It was Castagnier with the cutback, not Albrighton, Graham. Thanks for letting me know. The camera angle's so shit. Would you take Rodgers at United, says Jack. If Ollie decided he was resigning, I'd consider him, yeah. Mark, do you think David James should be in the Premier League Hall of Fame, says Joel Morris? Standing in the Hall of Fame, yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do. And the world's gonna know my name. Remind me why David James should be in the Premier League Hall of Fame. I can think of about 30 goalkeepers better than him. So, did he win the Premier League? Nope. Longevity, did he win most caps? Tell me why Dan James shouldn't be in the Premier League Hall of Fame. Dan James wouldn't even be in his own Hall of Fame. And ball there, he would have been through. Oh, come on. Should be a red. Iheanacho would have been in. Give him a red. He's not going to give him a red. He plays it past Thiago Silva and his hand stops him running through. Come on. It's got to be a yellow card. Do Man United miss a player like Johnny Evans? Personally, I think he's better than Lindelof, says Subbe. No, I disagree with you, Subbe, because Johnny Evans is just like Harry Maguire. You could never play Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire together at the back, could you? So I disagree with that. But no, why would David James be in the Premier League Hall of Fame? Has he got like the most? Did he get the most caps? Not the most appearances in the Premier League as a goalkeeper or something like that? Because he was around a long time. But no, I don't think longevity should be a reason to give you a Hall of Famer. Oh, good cross. Headed over by Sionku. It was a good cross to that from the free kick. Heads it over. Tell you what, watch out for Turkey in the Euros. Got some good players, Turkey. But no, I think if you're going to put a goalkeeper, the first goalkeeper into the... Who should... Look, we like to do this on That's Football. Who should be the first goalkeeper to go in the Premier League Hall of Fame? Because I think there's some good candidates. I actually think Schmeichel's the most obvious one. I think Spunky Seaman, he's another one. You could say Van der Sar. You could say Van der Sar. Petr Cech, definitely. He'd be another one. So, Chelsea. Castagnier as well. Hi Mark, do you think Liverpool are now favourites for top four ahead of Chelsea and Leicester? I'll have a look at that in a bit, Finn. Yeah. Lukaku's just made it 1-1 for Inter, by the way. Yeah, a lot of people saying Schmeichel and Seaman. I'd put Cech in there as well, but Schmeichel would be the first one. So, no. David James shouldn't be getting in there ahead of those three, but maybe he will get in there at some point. So I was also asked a question about whether Liverpool are the favourites for the Champions League now spot. I think it really depends on what fixtures are left. So Liverpool have got 3 games left, and I can see them winning all 3, which would take them to 69 points. Chelsea, I think, will beat Villa, which takes them to 67. And if they beat Leicester, that would take them to 69. Leicester, if they beat Spurs, would go 69. If they draw, I tell you what, I think Liverpool will get top 4 now, because all they've got to do is win 3 games and they'll get it. I can't see a scenario that's going to not make them get top 4. Chelsea into the box here with Alonso. Good tackle by Tielemans. He took the ball there. Castagnier goes for Iheanacho, and Thiago Silva's across. 3v2 a lot in this game. Chucking it down with rain as well. But yeah, I think Liverpool would need to lose one of their last 3 games, and Liverpool's last 3 games are very, very good. West Brom, Burnley and Palace. They'll win all 3 of them. Yeah. And a shot wide there for Chelsea from Mount. Subbo says, nothing against Hall of Fame, but what about the recognition of the players who played before the Premier League, like George Best? Well, my answer to that, Subbo, would be that lovely run by Mount and he shoots wide. My answer to that would be that it's a Premier League Hall of Fame. You can't put people out in it who aren't part of it. And I mean, it's very Americanized, isn't it? The whole Premier League Hall of Fame thing is to enhance the Premier League. So yeah, you have to have played in it. Mark, who's been our worst player this season and who's been the worst player Ollie uses? I'd go Matic, then Lindelof, says Daniel Kirk. Well, I don't really want to get into United stuff, Daniel. It's an FA Cup final, so I don't want people to get pissed off that we're just talking about United. But if people in the chat want to say who their worst player at their club is, I'm happy to read some of those out. Cross comes in, good take by Schmeichel, especially in that sort of a weather. It really is raining a lot. And he goes long, but Kante's across. I think that United's worst player this season... It's hard to say, really. I don't really want to pick anybody out. I mean, I'm tempted to say McTominay, really. But I think mainly because he's been played out of position. Do you think Lukaku will leave into this year? Liverpool will get top four. We handed them top four, unfortunately, says Vignesh. Yeah, United could have kept Liverpool out the top four. That's the sad thing. I think Lukaku could go to Chelsea, and I think he'd do a very, very good job, you know. Eric Dyer's crap, says Lil Sus, who's a Spurs fan. Martial's a good shout, actually. He's had a very bad season. Iwobi for Everton. I can't believe how much money Everton played for Iwobi. I cannot believe how much they paid for him. He is... And it wasn't like the warning signs weren't there at Arsenal. Like, I've always thought he's crap. I can't believe. They paid like... Didn't they pay 40 million? Unbelievable. First keeper in the Hall of Fame. 100% the man, the myth, the legend. Roy Carroll, says Ricky Keeley. Joe says that Ceballos is the worst player at Arsenal and in the league. And when he first came in the first two games last season and he was like, oh, he's amazing. Here's Tielemans. Greedy. He was always going to shoot there and he should have passed it. Here's Iheanacho. Loses the ball. Thoughts on Glazonomics hard at work in going for Mario and Arambari, Getafe instead of Declan Rice as the cheaper option, says Baloo. Well, apparently we're not in for that Arambari now, I've heard. But we'll see what happens. No, Neil Taylor at Villa, I'm sure he's a fan that snuck in, says Henry Arnold. Neil Taylor used to be quite good when he was at Swansea, you know. Probably just an age thing now. Winters says, forget Ceballos. Zoolander is the worst right back in Arsenal's history. Can't track or cross or defend. Zoolander, is that... it must be Bellerin. John Joe Shelby at Newcastle says TMF Gaming. Well, we did this the other night. We did best player at each club in the Premier League at half time, and it was really good. But I couldn't do worst player because I haven't watched enough. I think you really need to watch a team to know who your worst player is. I haven't, you know, to say who Arsenal's worst player is or Spurs' worst player is, I'd have to have watched them over 10 times, and I don't think I've done that. So only a fan can know who their worst players are, really. Cater at Liverpool, says Scott C. Yeah, good shout. Would you take Rudiger as a centre-back at United, says Sink? Yes, I would. I've always liked Rudiger. I got told by Chelsea fans that he's not that good a few months ago, but I like him. Here's Werner, 3v3. What's he going to do? He's going to shoot. Oh, wild and over. Over the bar. Do you rate Sionku, says Greg? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I think Leicester are very good at that. Their scouting system at Leicester has got to be one of the best scouting systems in the Premier League, really. They're so good at bringing in good players. What's interesting, actually, because Werner had that chance for Chelsea where it was a 3v3, and he's got it again here. 3v4. He doesn't shoot this time. He goes to Ziyech. Little dinky cross. It's a good cross, but there's no one in the middle. It'll fall to Mount. He'll take the throw in. Safe says, I think Leicester's got the best scouting system in the world. Cross comes in. I think Timo Werner is a shout for flop of the season, says Vignesh. No, I think I disagree with that. I mean, look, the thing I would say about Timo Werner is, and I can tell you this factually, it's another corner for Chelsea, by the way. The interesting thing about Timo Werner is that he, and you might be surprised, he's played 33 Premier League games. He's got 6 goals and 11 assists. He's played 48 games for Chelsea altogether this season. He's had 12 goals and 14 assists. I mean, that's not amazing, and he should be doing better than that. But I wouldn't say it's flop level. Like, I think flop level is never score. Hold on, Rudiger. Cross comes in, back post. Oh my God, they're so lucky there, Leicester. Azpilicueta can't believe it. I don't know whether Werner takes it off his head. The cross comes back in from Silva. I think Werner gets a little bit ahead on it, and it takes it off Azpilicueta's head on the back post. Yeah, I think if Timo Werner doesn't get something on this, it would have been on the end of Azpilicueta's head. See in a bit. Big chance there for Chelsea. It remains 0-0 after half an hour. But yeah, I wouldn't call Werner a flop with 12 goals and 14 assists out of 48 games. I mean, that's 1 goal every 4 games. You'd want more than that for a Chelsea striker. I'd say he's underperformed, but I wouldn't say he was a flop. The most famous principle of Ajax philosophy is that youth players are trained in every position. How well do you think Ajax is run? Very well, Subbo. Very well. Balu says, my sister is an orthopaedic surgeon. She says no way an athlete can return to elite sport with ligament damage to a joint in 2 weeks, referring to Maguire's ankle. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an orthopaedic surgeon, Baloo, but I agree with what you're saying there. I think that Harry Maguire playing in the Europa League final could well be a cover-up, that they don't want to let it know that he's not going to be playing. Or he'll play injured. We know that United let players do that, so maybe he'll do that. At the end of the season, can you do a United chart show ranking our top 10 players of said season? That's a good idea, Daniel Kirk. And when will we ever see Mark and Ty discuss football? Get Ty and TUS regular, please, says Akrama. I've already spoken to Ty. I've done a video with him before. I mean, if Maguire doesn't play in the Europa League final, I don't think he'll be playing in the Euros. So, unfortunately, we haven't had the goal that we wanted in this first half an hour. Quite evenly matched teams, and I think we'll see the same sort of game again on Tuesday. Oh, Johnny Evans has gone down now. If someone must score from 25 yards out to save your life and your 2 options are Fred or Werner, who would you pick? Says the genius. Definitely Werner. Bloody, I tell you what, if somebody had to score from 25 yards out to save my life and it was Fred, I'd jump off the cliff myself before he even shot. Imagine if you were jumping down and someone said he scored. I'd go, oh, typical Fred, bloody typical. But no, yeah, it would have to be Werner. Nothing against Fred, but his shooting is almost just it's a time wasting tactic, really. So Johnny Evans might be coming off here, which is a blow for Leicester considering that it's an FA Cup final and they've also got a very big game on Tuesday against Chelsea. So, yeah, I think Johnny Evans is coming off. It was a good question, wasn't it? Well done. Very good question that was. Big shout out for the super chat there from the genius, because it was a genius question. I like that. Probably get clipped up for TikTok, which I'll never see. Jack says, who's a player you thought was crap at the start of the season but is good now? Mahrez for me. That's a good question for everyone in the chat. Well, I think people already know who I'm going to say. Mason Mount is a player that I didn't really think was that good, but this season he's really impressed me. So I'd say Mason Mount. So Albrighton is coming on here. Only if the Glazers could have got someone like Louis Campos, who has been instrumental in Lille and Monaco's success, Heck, they could even make money by making superstars, says Subbo. Could you do a video comparing United's two goalkeepers, says Mark Whitten. Nah. No, because I haven't got the footage to do it, and I'd love to do stuff like that, but I haven't got the rights to use the footage, so I'd just be me talking at the end of the day. A few people are saying Luke Shaw's the player that they thought were crap at the start of the season, and now they think he's really good. Werner is the reverse. Yeah, that's the same for me. I thought Werner would do a lot better. Lovely play again. Here's Mason Mount. Overhits the cross though. Aspilicueta keeps it in. Bamford's a good shout from Farhan as well. Calvin from Leeds. John Stone says top shagger. Quadrado's made it 2-1 for Juventus. They've got to win that game, Juventus, as well. Hey Mark, do you think Martial will ever claim his number 9 shirt back at United? Says Esala. You never know, mates. You never know. And not in terms of footage, just as in games played and goals conceded this season, says Mark Whitten. I'm sure we can cover that in a video. So we've still got 10 minutes to go to half time here. Yellow card. Michael Oliver. He's booked for Fafana. I don't know who's going to book Castagnier. Talking about bookings, my daughter was playing today at Kidderminster Harriers on the ground there, and the captain of the other team was like, considering they're quite young, they must be like 10. The referee was giving fouls, and the captain of the opposition was going, "Are you blind? Are you blind? You need to go to Specsavers. Are you blind?" She was in his ear all game. And I was like, part of me was like, reminded me of what I used to be like, but surely you should be getting booked for stuff like that. My daughter on the way back was like, I can't believe it. She was swearing at the ref and everything. And I was like, well, 30 years ago, I used to be the same, but you shouldn't really be doing it, And the ref was letting it go. Do you feel proud of what you've achieved in terms of the United stand sub count? Credit to you and all involved. Keep up the good work, mate, says Mark Whitten. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I am pleased with what we've done. I just think fan content and conversation is the best conversation, and that's why I like what I do with the watch-alongs, because it'd be so easy to get 2 or 3 guests and not interact with the chat. And I just love it's hard work to interact with the chat than it is to imagine if I did this with somebody else. I could just go, what do you think? And then I could just sit there and watch the match for a bit. But I prefer this, even though it's hard work. As Scotsman, I'll be gutted if Maguire doesn't make the Euros. All of my hopes about a result against you lot are based on him playing. He's awful, says Callum. That's a bit unfair. Mark, who would you trust to babysit for you, Ollie or Klopp? I've got no problems with either of those two people, Mario. Very weird question. If you remember, even Fred isn't a CDM, played as a box-to-box for Shakhtar, so we basically have 2 box-to-box midfielders as CDMs. God save us next season, says Balu. And do you think Leicester will continue year after year to challenge for top 4, says Vignesh? And will we ever see you play football for United stand like you previously did for them in Blood Brothers? I am looking to get back on the pitch, Subbo, but I wouldn't be able to play 11-a-side football against the youth anymore, but I could probably do some 5-a-side stuff. Mark, if all the regions of England had a battle royal, which one would win, says Joe? What regions of England are you talking about? Because there's many counties. There's Warwickshire, there's Lancashire, there's Yorkshire, there's Devon and Cornwall. I mean, or do you mean north south? Tell you what, this has been a long half, hasn't it? Unfortunately. We haven't had the goal and it's not turned into the game we want it to. We need a good topic to do at half time, actually. We can do either or, which is where you get two topics and then you say what you think. But I also think that the one we did the other night on half time, Chelsea-Arsenal, was brilliant. Player of the season from each club. There must be something like that we could do for each Premier League club. We could do top 10 Premier League managers of the year. That'd be hard to do though, wouldn't it? I can't do we can't do worst player at each club because I don't know who it is. I mean, we could do, but I wouldn't know. I'd be very reliant on you lot. I realise this is a weird thing to be doing, but it's for my back. I know. We'll do. I like that one from Matthew Tilley. Most underrated player from each club. I've always liked underrated because I think it's because it's obviously not going to be their best player. So we'll do most underrated player at half time for each Premier League club. Or we could do best youngster. Best youngster's not bad either. Yeah, so we'll do most underrated. What do you want to do? Most underrated from each club or best youngster from each club? We'll do best. The one we don't do, we can always do it on another game. How fast are you at running, Mark? Well, I used to be quite fast. Nowadays, have you ever seen like an injured rat trying to run away with a broken back? Yeah, I'm about as quick as that. Deeny, deeny, deeny. 5 minutes to go to half time, everybody. Hearing this crowd in the stadium is so refreshing, says Vicious Bin Man. And Jeff says, I've just watched Sir Alex's documentary, tears in my eyes at the end of it. They should make all the players watch it to instill the United spirit, says Jeff. And Frankfurt choking away their Champions League spot and handing it to Dortmund on a silver platter, looking like Haaland is staying in Germany, says Sean C. Well, that's probably a good thing from a United point of view because we won't sign Haaland this summer anyway. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. Please subscribe, McFred or Nanny McPhee to babysit your kid, says Frederick Nielsen. Yeah, definitely Nanny McPhee. Fact, if a cheetah runs at top speed for over 11 seconds, it overheats and can suffer from brain damage. Question, is Dan James a cheetah? Says Mark Whitton. But who do you think was a bigger achievement, Leicester City 2016 or Deportivo La Coruña 2000? No one ever thought they would win the league title, says Leonardo. Headed wide there, another cross into the box. Sionku wins it and he heads it wide. Mark, I'll just say the most underrated at Chelsea is easily Azpilicueta. I think we're doing most underrated player at half time then, and James is putting in an early one for Chelsea. Rudiger injured his face when playing against Madrid, says Shay. I don't remember Deportivo La Coruña winning the La Liga. I'd have been living in Ireland getting pissed then, to be honest. I remember them beating Arsenal in was it the Super Cup final? When, was it Naeem, who was ex-Spurs, beat Seaman from far out? I'm sure, I can't remember what tournament that was, but... yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that at half time. Give it, give it, give it, give it. Here's Werner. Greedy, shoots wide. I think he should have passed it. Some might say he is past it. Would you swap Maguire for Fofana, says Kirkham? No, I would like to see him playing at the back with Maguire. I don't want to see Maguire going anywhere, to be fair. It is an interesting game, though, because who does it suit? It suits the team who scores. It was Real Zaragoza in the Cup Winners' Cup final who beat Arsenal, says Graham Caldwell. Yeah, well, you'd know better than me. Do you think Varane will really go to United? No. I think they'll get Sancho, which I'm not depressed about buying Sancho, of course, but I do think that they'll. I would love to see United getting a centre back and a CDM, really. 1 minute to go, half time. Which club is the best ever in your opinion, says Rahul? Manchester United 99. Nice ball in. Vardy. Oh, he just didn't know where the goal was. Lovely little ball into him. It would have took an exceptional header to put it in. Juve are 2-1 up now, says Divyam. Thanks, everyone. It's a lovely ball in by Tielemans. He's a good player, Tielemans, as well. I remember him when he wasn't in the Premier League, and he was one of those players that it was like, oh, he's got potential. You know, you hear about them on the European scene, and you think, well, are they going to be good enough? And he has been very, very good for Leicester. But it's been a ball draw so far, which is a shame. Really, you need a goal in a game like this. I think it'll be very similar on Tuesday night as well. A lot at stake for both these teams, and I think there's a very big possibility that Leicester will not finish in the top four. Again. I mean, they should have got top four last year and they bottled it. And people say, oh, you're sleeping on Leicester. And I've been saying it for weeks. I don't think we are sleeping on Leicester. I think they're always capable of bottling it, unfortunately. Overall mark, not one season, says Rahul. Well, who's the best club in the world? Overall, I don't even know how to answer that question. Best FA Cup final, says Joan. Well, I think my favourite FA Cup final was probably beating Liverpool in 1996, but it was probably one of the worst FA Cup finals. But it was just very important to beat Liverpool. The FA Cup was still important then, so and United won the double. So that's the one that stands out as a United fan. Obviously, beating Newcastle in '99 was good because it set up the treble. But the best FA Cup final I've seen individually, I mean, I was very, very young, so I can't really remember it. But I think Coventry Spurs was probably quite a good final because it went to extra time. It's half time here. I remember Liverpool-Everton in '89 being a good final, but it was ruined by the fact that Arsenal... Sorry, not Arsenal. Why does Arsenal keep going into my head? That Liverpool actually won it. Right, okay, it's at half time. It's 0-0. It's a bit of a boring game, really. Both teams cancelling each other out. Not many good chances. Not many good saves for the goalkeeper. So the less said, the better. So what we're going to do here is we're gonna go through each Premier League side, and we're going to do most underrated player at each side. And what that means is, what player at each club do you think doesn't get the credit they deserve? It's not most improved. It's not like a crap player that's done a little bit better than you thought they would. It's the player that doesn't get the plaudits they deserve. And for one, I would say Spurs, Son doesn't get the appreciation he actually deserves, because I think Son is one of the best players in the Premier League. So we'll start off, and we're going to be interacting with the live comments. Who is the most underrated player at Arsenal? Now, Joan Sheridan says Leno is underrated. I've got to disagree with you, Joan, and say that Leno is a bit shit. Every time I watch Arsenal, he seems to make a big mistake. So I don't actually, I personally, and I think a lot of this is subjective, because it's not just about what Arsenal fans think. It's more about what non-Arsenal fans think. Because when I think of Arsenal and underrated players, I think that it's hard, because most of their players are not rated, but underrated at Arsenal, I don't know, it's tough. I lived in Malahide, Merrily in Ireland. Most people are saying Tierney, Smith Rowe, but I actually rate those players. Martinelli never plays. Smith Rowe, Saka's probably your best player. Pepe, Gabriel, David Luiz as Vignesh. Lacazette, I don't rate Lacazette. I mean, it's hard. I'm going to go with the live comments here. I think Arsenal's a very hard club to start off with, because they are it's difficult. It's difficult with Arsenal. I don't think they've got enough good players to have underrated players, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I don't know. There's so many different names. I can't even say for Arsenal. Let's start off with Man City, and we'll go through the top to bottom. So Man City, who's Man City's most underrated player? For me, this is a lot easier when you start with a team like Man City. I think for Man City, underrated, John Stones, Rodri. I think this season people like Diaz and Gundogan and De Bruyne, they get a lot of the plaudits. But I think people like Cancelo, Stones, Rodri, Mahrez, they would be my four players that I would say it's got to be one of those. But I don't know what everybody else is saying as we start off with Man City. Lots of people saying Mahrez, Cancelo. Some people saying Zinchenko, which is a decent shout. Stones, Sterling, says Vignesh. Rodri, Zinchenko. I mean, Zinchenko I would say is most improved. A player I thought was crap who's actually turned out to be quite good. Bernardo Silva. Fernandinho. They've got quite a few, really, haven't they? Why are people saying Torres? Like, just that is so, in my opinion, that is so flippant, because Torres played well last night. I've not even noticed Ferran Torres this season at Man City. That's how underrated he is. He's been invisible. I've barely noticed him. I think an underrated player needs to be a player that you notice but doesn't probably get the plaudits they deserve. So I wouldn't say Ferran Torres. I think we're going to go with Mahrez. Mahrez seems to have had the most, but there's quite a few different ones there. Okay, so next team is going to be Manchester United. Who is the most underrated player at Manchester United? I'd be interested to see what people say here, because this is my club and I know who I think is the most underrated, but will it match up with you? Mahrez for City. Fred. A lot of people say Maguire, actually. Luke Shaw, I think, has had the plaudits he deserves. I wouldn't say he was underrated. Maguire. Fair play to Harry Maguire. Most people have gone with Harry Maguire there, which I think is a fair shout. He is underrated. Bad start to the season, but since Christmas, I think he's been very, very good. Maybe because he's now missing from injury, you can see the value of him. Leicester City, we're watching them in the FA Cup final. Who's their most underrated player? I know who I think at Leicester City, and I'm wondering if many of you will go for it. Who's the most underrated player at Leicester? Again, I think it's probably a defender for me. Castagne is one. Fofana, Iheanacho, Ndidi, Evans, Tielemans. But the vast majority, although it is quite spread, I can see a lot of Johnny Evans, and that's who I would have gone with as well. So big shout out for Johnny Evans there. We move on because we've got to get through everybody. Who's the most underrated player at Chelsea? I think you know who I'm not even going to mention it. I think you know who I will go for in this one. Who's Chelsea's most underrated player? Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Everyone's welcome here, and we're trying to get up to 400k before the end of the season. Everyone's welcome here. It doesn't matter who you support. We're going to be doing Euros, watch-alongs, the lot on here over the next month. So get involved. I mean, a lot of people say Mount. Is Mason Mount underrated? I don't think he's underrated. A few people saying Kovacic, which is who I would go for, but also Reece James is getting a few. Aspilicueta, Kante, Jorginho. But I think Aspilicueta wins it, to be fair. Well done to Aspilicueta there. Liverpool's most underrated player. Who is Liverpool's most underrated player? Sorry about that. I had to sort something out off air. So who's Liverpool's most underrated player? No, Thiago is not underrated. He's shit. Fabinho is a good shout. And Fabinho wins it. He's blasting the live comments there. Good shout, Fabinho. Nice quick one. West Ham's most underrated player. Who are you going for? West Ham. I think I know who you'll go for. If you are the football intellects, I think you are, which you clearly are. I think I know who you're going to go for at West Ham. West Ham's most underrated player. I'll be stunned if you don't do it. Yeah, you've done it. Yeah. Kufal. Yeah, definitely. He's not dominated it, but he's definitely got it more. Fair play. Well done to Kufal. Okay. West Ham. Spurs most underrated player. And if you say Eric Dyer, you should wash your mouth out with soap. It's not Eric Dyer. Who is Spurs' most underrated player? Now, I think the definition of an underrated player is actually Son. People will say, well, now he's rated. But what I mean is, like, I don't think Son gets... Imagine if Son was English, he would be lauded as the superstar of the Premier League. He is the definition of underrated. An underrated player doesn't mean that they don't get some credit. It means that they don't get the credit they deserve. And I think that Son is the definition of that. But maybe some of you think differently. So into the live comments. Who is Spurs' most underrated player? Mora, Reguilon, Ndembele. Ndembele is getting the... Well, it's Ndembele. There you go. Ndembele. Fair play. The chat has spoken. Everton's most underrated player. Now, I think I know who Everton's most underrated player is, but it doesn't mean that that will get voted. This is a player that, for me, was out injured quite a lot, and they suffered without him. And then when he came back, they started doing a lot better. I wonder if you will go with the same one as well. Decore, Digne, Godfrey, and Dembele for Spurs, Mark. I swap him for Fred, says Rudy. Godfrey, Gomez. A few people going with the one I would have gone for, which is Alan. But I think I'm going to give it to Digne. He's just about got it. There's quite a few different ones for Everton, but I think Digne just got it, even though I would have gone for Alan. Arsenal's most underrated player. We've tried this once. Very, very difficult. I think I'm just going to have to give it to Xhaka, unless anybody can do any better. Arsenal, Chambers, Holding. Holding's probably not a bad shout, really. Oh, it's impossible. I can't. The trouble with Arsenal is, it's just. I think we're going to just give it to Kieran Tierney, even though I don't think he's underrated. I don't think he fits the cap of being underrated. I think we'll just give it to him. Arsenal's probably the hardest club to do it for. Leeds most underrated player. Come on, it's not hard to do it for Leeds. I think Leeds have actually had a very good season, and I think there'll be a few players at Leeds that are classed as underrated. Dallas, Bamford, Rafinha. I think it's fair to say that it's going to be... We'll give it to Dallas. Well done to Dallas. He's one most underrated player. of the season for Leeds. Aston Villa's most underrated player. This cannot be Jack Grealish. He's not underrated. He's their best player, and he quite clearly is their best player. So who is Villa's underrated player? Couple I can think of straight off the top of my head. There's more than a couple really, but I think I know who I would go for at Villa. A few saying Watkins, a lot saying Matty Cash. Martinez, I think, is a good shout, but I think he's actually obviously had quite a good season. Cons is another one, but it's Matty Cash who gets it, and that's it. I would have gone with Matty Cash as well. They've got a few at Villa, to be fair. Wolverhampton Wanderers, most underrated player. They've had a shite season, Wolves. So underrated player you might struggle with, but who is the most underrated player for Wolves? Patricio maybe. Neto, I think, is not underrated. Although it looks like Neto's going to win it. I wouldn't say he's the most rated. How can Neto be the most... Funny is, a lot of you were doing best player of the season for each team in the midweek, and you picked Neto. But now you want to pick in Neto. It can't be best player and a most underrated player. And a lot of you have gone for Neto, so it can't be Neto, I'm afraid. Although if he is getting the most. So Neves is the next one. So Neves gets it. There we go. Even though I think Neves is rated. Southampton's most underrated player. Who we got? Southampton's most underrated player. Who are you going with? Adams, Ward-Prowse, Walker-Peters, Vestergaard, Ings, Redmond. Quite a range. Kyle Walker-Peters. Adams has got it. Well done. There you go. Bit of a shock for Southampton. Crystal Palace's most underrated player. You can't say Eze because he won. Again, he won Player of the Year, so it can't be Eze. Who's Crystal Palace's most underrated player? You might struggle a little bit because beyond Eze and Zaha, you might struggle. I've said this before, Mark. We should be looking at Bastoni from Inter, says Bradley Clout. Benteke wins it for Palace by a long way. Loads of people saying Benteke's underrated. Burnley's most underrated player. Well, I'll tell you what. If it's not Tarkowski, you don't know football. You know, Harvey Barnes at a push, but if you don't know football, if you don't pick Tarkowski, you know, he's got me out of prison more times than anybody. And I'm not even talking about football. I get regularly locked up for talking shit, and he bails me out all the time. Wood, underrated. It's going to be Wood. But I think Wood won Player of the Year, so I don't know how that works. But Dwight McNeil's a good shout. I think Dwight McNeil is underrated. I think I think he's underrated because he plays for Burnley. But actually, he's a player that would be a very good player at an Everton or something like that. But for some reason, you've all gone with Wood, so there it is. But I think Dwight McNeil gets it. I'm going to overrule. Newcastle's most underrated player. Who is Newcastle's most underrated player? Juve down to 10 men. They could be down out of top 4. What about Dubravka? It's Willock. Well done to Willock. Brighton's most underrated player. Who we going? Brighton's most underrated player. Who are we going to go for? Willock's already won it for Newcastle. Dunk, Basuma, Wilson. He plays for Newcastle. Ben White, Trossard, Sanchez, Lamptey. Dunk's there again. Basuma, Dunk, Basuma. Dunk, Basuma. I'd say Basuma's took it, even though I think he might have won it the other way. Game's about to kick off here. Fulham's most underrated player. Do we give a shit? Do we actually give a shit about Fulham, West Brom and Sheffield United? They're all getting relegated, so I don't think you can have an underrated player for them. Tough shit for the bottom three. This is what happens when you get relegated. You don't even get spoken about. We're about to kick off for the second half, but I enjoyed that. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Anderson is getting most of the votes for that. I think Areola won the Player of the Year, so it can't be him, but I think Anderson has got it for that. West Brom's most underrated player, considering Pereira won Player of the Year. We'll carry on if you want. Anderson's won it for Fulham. I get confused when you ask us to smash your like button. Do I need an OnlyFans account to do that? Says David. No, there's a like button under the video. Sam Johnston gets it for West Brom. Which just leaves Sheffield United's most underrated player, which I find hard considering I wouldn't rate any team that's got that many points. But is there an underrated player at Sheffield United? Can you find one? No changes for either team here. Second half kicks off. Zanderberg's won it for Sheffield United. So thanks everyone who got involved on that. We always have a good time at half time on this show. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're now into the second half. Zanderberg won it for Sheffield United. I think McGoldrick won Player of the Year for them when we did it the other night. Give it to Eric Cavani. Pass him the ball and let him score all the goals. Na, 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 na. Saturday night dance. I like the way you move. Be my baby. What we all up to Saturday nights? Where are we going? I can't wait to be able to do that. You know, I will do that one night. I will say. Saturday night, 9 o'clock. Meet me in the Mason's Arms, Solihull. If you're there, we'll have a drink. People would turn up. I'd have to pay some of them, but no. Mark, do you think David has been massively unrated this season? He's been pretty good, but still gets a lot of Christmas. Oh, David De Gea has been underrated at United this season. I agree, Vignesh, yes. Rock Games says that Xhaka should have won it at Arsenal. Well, Arsenal, Werner's in here, down the left-hand side. He's going to have to pull it back. It took too long there. That's poor by Werner. Chelsea are wearing the new kit, yeah. I think that Werner will end up not being a forward for Chelsea. I think they'll buy a forward and he'll end up being one of the front three rotating. Next game on Twitch, Dylan. I think it's going to be Resident Evil. Do I get Chinese or fish and chips for dinner, Mark, says Tom? Well, I had fish and chips for lunchtime, so I would say get a Chinese because I couldn't eat fish and chips again. And I'm a bit disappointed with myself. I don't know why every time I go to the fish and chip shop I keep getting fish and chips because I much prefer pie, gravy and chips. I don't know why I keep doing it. Raku says Chelsea's kit is crap. Sometimes, Raku, you're right to be blunt. Know what I'm saying? This game needs a goal. Have you seen the new Arsenal away kits, Erwin? I think I have. Yeah, I'm doing the 8 o'clock show on the United Stand, and then I'll probably... Well, I am doing... I don't know. I really told you what I'm going to do afterwards. I was talking like it was really interesting. I'm doing the 8 o'clock on the United Stand, then I'll probably have a bath and, take the dog out, and then probably just watch a film. The end of Grand Theft Auto on Twitch was brilliant, though. It was really like that film Heat with Al Pacino and You know, when De Niro and they're doing the bank robbery and they're just getting loads and loads of police on the street going for him. That's one of my favourite missions. I felt like playing it again. Lovely play by Leicester. They've started off quite well here. That's a great ball. And to be fair, Kepa's off his line quick. Otherwise, Vardy's in. The game is opened up again. Here's Werner. Good tackle. Strong tackle there by Tielemans. He's playing great. He's running ashore. I haven't watched Heat in a long time, Wilson. I need to watch it again. Such a good film. Nick Hill says that Ollie cried about Son diving, yet he's got Bruno. Yeah, I've got a video out at the moment. You can check it on the community tab. Goldbridge reacts to his Grand Theft Auto best bits. So do give it a watch. It's probably my favourite one to do. Really enjoyed that. Still need more ideas for react to videos. Although I think I'm going to bring Cooking with Goldbridge back this week. Oh, that was late by Tielemans. On Jorginho. I still think Chelsea will win it, yeah. Amazon Prime has got Heat on Amazon Prime. So I could literally do a Heat film watch-along on Twitch because you're allowed to do that, but you've just got to have Amazon Prime to do it. I could do that. I could do a Heat watch-along. I'm not going to do it now. Anyway, it's Maddison's coming on. Give it to Eddie Karani. I think Maddison will just give Leicester a little bit more creativity. Man United YouTube's got a good question there. How long do you think English teams will dominate the European scene? I mean, I think the Premier League has dominated the European scene for at least 3 years. Having said that, Sevilla won the Europa League last year and Bayern Munich won the Champions League. But I still, just because you don't, good header there by Alonso, straight at the keeper from the cross from Kante. I still think the Premier League was stronger last year. I just think that they didn't win it, which some people will say, well, that's a load of nonsense, but that's what I think. What will you do more playthroughs of narrative games? I suggest Bully by Rockstar, quite old before my time, but it's supposed to be funny. It says Filthy, and Matt Hunt says Glazers out. I'm going to do Resident Evil next. Well, I don't want to upset Chelsea fans because I think you've had a very good season since Tuchel came in. But imagine you lose this game, you lose to Leicester, you don't get top 4 and then you lose to Champions League final. I know that's probably unlikely, but imagine if it happened. I will be doing a FIFA draft again, Himanshu. I might do it tomorrow night at about 6:30 actually, because I was meant to do one this afternoon, but I got waylaid. I was doing some stripping of wallpaper. Legit, I was stripping wallpaper off the wall with a... First time I've ever used one. You know, a wallpaper steamer. They're bloody good. They do work. Bet you were all getting excited of me stripping. Do I think that will happen to Chelsea? I think Chelsea Man City in the Champions League final. We'll be doing a watch along for that on this channel. I think that game could go either way. I can't say Man City will win or Chelsea will win, because I think it could go either way. This game after 55 minutes, again, you just don't know. It could go either way. Top four, I do think Chelsea will get top four because they've got Villa on the last game of the season. Delightful crossing. Again, it's another corner for Leicester, who I'd say have probably started this second half slightly better. Anant says Chelsea are a very boring team under Tuchel. Future challenge, build a United team picking one player from every season starting from the 2009-10 season, says David Hunt. Headed away by Chelsea. It'll go wide and it's got loads of time to put the cross in. Tielemans with the cross. It's a good cross and that should be another corner. It's a throw in. I tried, but I just can't find a reason why Tuchel lets Azpilicueta play right wing back and James right centre back, says Elias. No, I mean, look, I couldn't give a crap as a non-Chelsea fan, but to be honest with you, I would expect that Reece James would be playing at right wing back and Azpilicueta would be at right centre back. But maybe he wants the pace of Reece James. I think that's probably what it is. Exactly what Anant says there, to counter the pace of Vardy. I think if you were playing Man United, you would see Reece James playing at right wing back because Cavani wouldn't have that pace that Vardy has got. I just hope we don't go to extra time. But it does sort of have that feel of two teams not looking to lose here, which is of course exactly fine. Of course it's fine. St Maximin to Leicester, a good move, says come. Need a stretch mark, says Francis. I think St Maximin to Leicester would be a good move if he's looking to take that step up. Somebody said in the first half, do you think that Leicester will continue to be a top four challenging side next season? I see no reason why they wouldn't do. I'm not convinced that Leicester will get top four this year, but I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be a top six club again next season. Does East Gaming says Leicester to scrap a 1-0 win. Opinion is on Ward-Prowse, says Tommy. I think Ward-Prowse is a good player. I mean, he's a little bit older than I thought he was now. Nice ball over the top. Werner's never going to get that, though. Ihab says that Tammy Abraham would be a good signing for Leicester. Yep, Danny Ings as well. I think he'd be a good one. I'm sure Chelsea will be looking towards the bench in a minute. Are you having a takeaway, Mark? Says Mikey. I can't have a takeaway because I had one at lunch. I had mine. I was premature. I came early and had fish and chips at lunch. Harvey Barnes underrated at Leicester, says Tom. I think Barnes is out till next season, isn't he? David's having Pizza Hut. Yeah, let us know what you're having in the chat. I am getting hungry. The wife said to me, oh, we won't bother having anything special for tea because we had fish and chips for lunchtime and it was quite filling. I went, I couldn't care if I had fish and chips twice at lunchtime. I'll still want something so significant for tea. I hate that. I do hate that. You know, that's happened to me quite a lot. You know, when you have a roast dinner on a Sunday, well, we won't need much for tea. Oh, why? Why? Are we broke or something? Just because I've had a big dinner at lunchtime doesn't mean I can't have another one at tea time. Corner here to Leicester. I remember when I was at training school for one of my other jobs, you had to go residential for a couple of weeks to do like a training course. And part of the training course, they had this big canteen. And at lunchtime, you could go and get your lunch. And after the course, you could go and get your tea. And I used to have a big dinner at lunchtime and a pudding. And then at tea time, I'd go and have a big dinner and a pudding. Like, it don't bother me. It's food. Corner comes in. Tillemans. Oh, they've messed that up. They've really messed that up. And they've won it back now. It's a bit scrappy, this game, I tell you. Cross comes in. It's over Vardy. Zunga's just had some Nando's. Thoughts on Tillemans, Mark, says Nicholas. I think he's been bloody brilliant today. I think he's been man of the match. In fact, I was just about to do a tweet, and now I will. Because I think he's been great. Said it a couple of times, haven't I? All right, Pulisic is going to come on for Chelsea. Half an hour to go. Kante gets it wide. Aspilicueta, crap cross. You know what? What's been disappointing about this game most of all for me is that it's just not had... we've just not had many shots on goal. That's the thing that's annoying for me. Just not had many shots on goal at all. When are you going to start Resident Evil, Mark? Says Kevin Wallace. Goldbridge TV on Twitch. I think it's more than likely. I'd like to start it tonight, but I've got a funny feeling I'll be quite tired. That makes it sound like I'll be up to something tonight. No. I don't think so. You never know. But I was up quite late last night, so I'll probably start it tomorrow night. Because there's no watch-along tomorrow. United aren't playing and I'm not doing any Premier League games. So Tillemans! Get in! What a hit! Oh my God! What did I just say? What did I just say? The guy is electric. Someone call NASA. They've lost a rocket. Tillemans makes it 1-0 to Leicester. That befits the Premier League. That befits the Champions League. That was Bobby Charlton-esque. It's good enough to win the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League and everything. And if Chelsea are complaining about something, if VAR takes this game away, if VAR takes that goal away, there is something wrong with football. There really is. You can't give a handball. You can't take this goal away. What a goal. 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 I'm not on repeat. It's brilliant. Oh, I just literally put the tweet out. It's a fantastic goal. I'm just a little bit worried about VAR here. Do not take that goal away. It's magnificent. And he has been the best player on the pitch by a long, long way for me. I want to change the score. Do not go and say something about a handball, VAR. They've given it. Good. You can't take a goal away like that away for some stupid handball in the build-up. Well, look, it doesn't mean that Leicester are going to win, but... it means Chelsea have got to try and create some chances. Half an hour for Leicester now. It gets exciting. What a hit, though. Ziyech tries to hit one as well. Lenny says, that's it, we've lost. I don't know. I don't know about that. Lovely goal by Tielemans, though. The funny thing is, we were just literally talking about what a good game he's had in quite a boring game. Reminds me a little bit of Roy Keane for United in '96 against Liverpool. Both teams cancelled each other out, but Roy Keane probably had one of his best games in a United shirt in what was a very boring game. But, you know, that often happens. You know, it's not a boring game because everybody's playing shit. It's because, you know, defensively and midfielders have actually played quite well, cancelled each other out. But Tielemans has been very, very good in this game, and it's very, very, very fitting that he scores a goal like that. Because sometimes I think as a footballer you can be man of the match, but it's like an underrated performance. You're not going to get it. So I'm really glad that Tielemans has scored, because for me he's been man of the match anyway. Ronaldo star rocket shot. What a goal, says Vignesh. What a player. What a player that Leicester have got in him. He'll be the next one, Tielemans. He will go. He will have people like well, I don't know who, but, you know, the longer Leicester can keep hold of these types of players, the more successful they will be. I mean, people, if you're an Arsenal fan or a Spurs fan, you must look at Leicester and say, why are they above us in the league year in, year out? And I think the reason they're above you year in, year out is because they've actually got some really good players. Ndidi, Tielemans, Vardy, Harvey Barnes, Sionku, Johnny Evans, Castagnier, obviously their goalkeeper Schmeichel. They're a very, very good side. That's why they do it. Scouting's fantastic as well. I've nearly got 10,000 people watching. Smash a like on the video, share the video. We could have a very interesting final. I mean, look, there is a bit of a handball there by Perez, but I'm very glad that VAR hasn't decided to do anything about it. If you're a Chelsea fan, I understand it as well. You're probably going to be pissed off saying, well, it does hit his arm. But for me, you can't be cancelling goals out like that for that. You know, you don't want that. Maddison's only just coming on. I thought Maddison came on ages ago. Maddison's only just coming on now. He's come on for Iheanacho. Ayus Perez will go to the right. Chilwell and Pulisic come on. Alonso and Ziyech go off. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Everyone's welcome here. Well, we've got a better FA Cup final than last year, and that's not just because Arsenal won it. I thought the FA Cup was rubbish last year because the referee ruined it. This one, we've had an absolute cracking goal. 1-0 to Leicester at the moment. It's took a while, but we've got it. Who's a better midfielder, Ndidi or Tielemans, says Gary? I think they complement each other very well. It's quite similar to what happens with Rice and Soucek with Tielemans and Ndidi, actually. So with Ndidi and Rice, they're the player that sits. And then with Soucek and Tielemans, they sit, but they also have license to get forward as well. So their pivots are quite similar in that sense. Ndidi won't really get forward. Declan Rice won't really get forward. Soucek will get forward. Tielemans will get forward. And that's why you see, you know, Soucek's scored quite a few goals this season. I think Tielemans has had quite a few assists. Can Chelsea get back into it? Baloo says Leicester's transfer policy is immaculate. They've already bought Samari as a replacement for Ndidi. Tielemans if they leave for a higher transfer fee, says Baloo. Well, you know, I think as well, Baloo, I don't think Tielemans or Ndidi are going to go anywhere this season. I think maybe they're going to go in a year's time, which is what Leicester are looking at. You know, we'll bring Samori in, we'll give him a year to get used to the Premier League, and then next year we'll sell Ndidi or Tielemans for a lot of money, and then Samari will be ready. Chelsea's problem, exactly, somebody just said it there in the chat. Chelsea's problem here is that they're not creating chances. Still plenty of time to go. Remember, this could go extra time. Oliver says, would you take Tielemans at United? I wanted Tielemans the summer that he went to Leicester. I thought there was a chance that we could get him, and we didn't do it. So I do rate Tielemans. I didn't know he was going to be this good, and Leicester deserve a lot of the credit for that. Of course they do. But yeah, he's done a very good job there. And Leicester have done a very good job as well. Let's not forget, Leicester bought him. very good scouting. I think there was interest in Tielemans coming to United actually, but I just don't think United expressed any interest in him. So. Chelsea desperately do need a goal-scoring number 9, don't they? I mean, I do like Werner. He's not had a great season, but I do like Werner. But he's just not going to be that number 9 that Chelsea maybe thought they were going to get. That, consistent goal scorer. Great tackle there. Schmeichel picks it up. Got my Cavani t-shirt, hoodie on the way. Black, says Stephen B. Harry. Thanks, pal. Good tackle by Sionku there. Can Leicester keep the clean sheet? Chelsea staring down the barrel of a second FA Cup defeat. It's funny actually. I saw Mason Mount saying he'd sent a message. He'd sent a message to Chelsea players that remember last year when we lost 1-0 to Arsenal. We don't want that feeling again. Well, at the moment they're staring down the barrel of that feeling again. Wayne says they won't score Chelsea. There's no creativity in that team. Logan says, could win 504 quid. Pray for a geezer, Mark, says Logan. Yeah, I remember you at the start actually talking about that. The bet. Gary says, who's a better midfielder? And we've done that one as well. And Vignesh says, Chelsea couldn't break down Arsenal midweek. Leicester will be tougher to break down. Football doesn't always work like that though, does it? Chelsea are going to pay... look, I know they did it against Arsenal, but maybe Giroud comes on. Is Giroud on the bench? I wouldn't be surprised if this went to extra time. And this is where Chelsea can make a difference. Corners. The bench for Chelsea, they do have Giroud. There's no Tammy Abraham on there. I don't know whether anybody can tell us in the live comments if Tammy Abraham is fit. Hudson-Odoi's on the bench. Havertz is on the bench as well. So they do have options. They've already made 2 subs. Tammy is fit, he's just not on the bench. He'll be going in the summer then, won't he, Lincoln? That Tielemans goal should be one of the best goals in FA Cup final. Imagine Manchester United get Fofana and Tielemans as Victor. Yeah, Imagine is the right thing. We may as well all start singing Imagine by John Lennon, because it's not going to happen. Jorginho's got the same build as Woody from Toy Story, says Luke Jones. Well, Chelsea are getting closer to the box now. Maddison's just gone down injured here from Aspilicueta. He's trod on his foot. That will hurt. That's going to hurt. Mark, Chelsea's arrogance is showing finally. They might not make top 4 or win the FA Cup or win the Champions League, says Giroud. Well, yeah, I mean, I do think that Chelsea will get top 4 because they've got a lovely goal. Kepa ain't getting near that. I do think Chelsea will get top 4 because I think that... well, having said that, maybe they won't. It's hard to say. I don't think that Leicester will get a win out of Chelsea and Spurs in their last 2 games, but I think Chelsea will beat Villa and maybe get a draw or beat Leicester in the league. But I guarantee Brandon Rodgers wants to win the FA Cup over top 4 because it's a trophy, isn't it? You put in the oven on.
Yeah. Do I put the stuff in as well?
Yeah. So Havertz is going to come on. I presume you can only make 3 subs these days. Juve are back in front. It's 3-2, even though they're down to 10 men. Cracking game, that is. 88th minute. Even that win might not be enough for Juventus. Down to 10 men. Chiellini scored an own goal on 83 minutes. Bentancur was sent off on 55. Chiellini 83 own goal, and now Cuadrado on 88 has made it 3-2. Could be a massive goal for Juventus that. Just realised actually something that I'm missing out on with Chelsea here is if Chelsea don't get top 4, but they win the Champions League, they get Champions League football anyway. So does that have an impact on who gets top 4 in the Prem? If you finish 4th but Chelsea finish outside the top 4, does the 4th place not get it? I don't know. I think they still do, don't they? Advath, yeah, I mean, I think Leicester would be stupid not to play their best game now, which is defend and then hit Chelsea on the break, yeah. Apparently, you still get top 4 will still go into the Champions League even if Chelsea win it and they don't finish in the top 4, so you could have 5. Hudson-Odoi's come on for Chelsea as well, so they've made 4 substitutions here. Havertz is on. Chilwell came on for Alonso. Pulisic came on for Ziyech. Hudson-Odoi, I think, has come on for Azpilicueta. And Havertz, who's Havertz come on for? Mark our midfield for Man United's total garbage. And Ndidi, Tielemans, and please sign Fofana. Which one would you sign for Man United? Says Victor. I'd take Ndidi from Leicester because he's a specialist CDM. Tielemans isn't a CDM, is he? Trying to see Kante. It's a lovely cross by Kante. What a save by Schmeichel. Oh, full stretch save from Schmeichel there. Jorginho, I think, has come off, has he? And Mount has gone into... Well, that's a great save by Schmeichel, you know. Is it going in? It is. Oh, what a save. That's a magnificent save by Schmeichel. I thought it was going wide or going to hit the post, but I think it was just going inside the post. It's a magnificent save. World-class save by Schmeichel, that is. We've seen a world-class goal and a world-class... That's as good as a goal, that is. What a save. His dad would be proud of that. That's an interesting question, you know. Is the gap between Kasper Schmeichel and Peter Schmeichel that big? Obviously, being his son, people just think, oh, it's his son. I don't think... I mean, look, I think Peter Schmeichel... Look, I remember Peter Schmeichel. For me, he's the best goalkeeper that's played in the Premier League. But I don't think the gap between Peter Schmeichel and Kasper Schmeichel is as big as you might think. Kasper Schmeichel is actually... I mean, where would he rank in the all-time Premier League goalkeepers? You'd definitely have him in your top 20. He's won a bloody Premier League, hasn't he? At a team that... you know, is not a fashionable side. So, Inter have had a red card as well, so it looks like Juventus are going to get the win. James Bricknell says, Mark, hearing that crowd reaction to that goal almost made me tear up. Well, we haven't seen many goals like that this season, have we? Certainly in finals. I mean, that goal made having fans in the grounds that much more important, didn't it? Got nearly 10,000 watching, which is fantastic. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 400k. You're very, very welcome. And well, look, 10 minutes away from Chelsea not winning another FA Cup final, but they have got a lot of attackers on the pitch now. They're going to go for it. There's still a chance that Juve won't make top 4 though, because I think if Milan win their last 2 and Napoli win their last 2, Juve don't get in the top 4. It's interesting, you know what? I think that a lot of people talk about, you know, if you know, Ronaldo, no top 4, but what about Koulibaly? I think United have got more chance of getting Koulibaly than they have of getting Ronaldo. I don't think they'll get either, but good block there. Still 10 minutes to go. Will there be another chance for Chelsea? That was a big save from Schmeichel. Will there be another chance for Chelsea? Let's see. And this is the right substitution. I mean, you can obviously make 5 subs because Giroud's come off. Werner's come off for Giroud. And Wes Morgan's coming on for Leicester. I didn't even know he still played. Captain Morgan. Thomas and Perez come off. Morgan and Chowdhury come on. They're parking the bus. Thoughts on the young Frankfurt striker? No, Hugh. Bye-bye, Hugh. You're a prat. I bet Leicester wish they could do this week, this next week, maybe more important money-wise, says James. Tuesday night, part 2. Leicester definitely are parking the bus here. Rudiger goes for a long shot over the bar. Are Leicester going to hold on? I know, I've got a funny feeling no. I've got a funny feeling no. Chelsea fans will hope I'm right. Wes Morgan, what a unit. I thought he'd retired. I didn't know he still played. McNally says, I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea did score because Leicester Rodgers is a bottler. I think there'll be about 5 minutes added on, so we've still got easily another 12 minutes in this game. Giroud, good ball out wide. That'll go for a throw in. I wonder if Leicester might get something on the break. RSH says, I'm so happy for Leicester. Who's better between Partey and Tielemans, says Pisco. Piece of piss, Pisco. Definitely Tielemans this season. Wes Morgan is 37, says FIFA FC. Ethan says, this is Wes Morgan's first appearance since December. What are you doing chucking him on then? Be like United chucking Phil Jones on. No, I'm only joking. Wes Morgan's a legend at Leicester, isn't he? But Vardy's up against Thiago Silva there. Wins a corner. Can you notice me, says Sean Jackson? I just did. Chowdhury's afro is an absolute masterpiece in hairstyling. The dude keeps it immaculate every game. Looks like it was chiselled by the gods of Greece, says Konzi. Wes Morgan's going to score the winner. Well, it is a corner. I don't know whether Wes Morgan's up for it. No, he's not even up for it. It's Chowdhury. Harold Chowdhury. I mean, I think every time I watch him, I don't think he's a bad player. He doesn't seem to play that often, does he? But the rain's cost us the game, says Sam. It's not over yet. I still think there'll be 5 minutes of added time, so you've still got 10 minutes if you're a Chelsea fan, I think. But can Leicester do what Arsenal did midweek? 1-0 win, shut Chelsea out. Is that a weakness of Chelsea? If you score first against them, do they struggle to get back into it? Rudiger, he won't shoot again this time. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we've got over 10,000 watching. We're on the road to 400k. Everyone's welcome on this channel. It's not club specific. That's football. It's for everyone to get involved in. You're very welcome. We will be doing a lot of Euros watch-alongs next month as well. And a Champions League 2 weeks today. What a save by Schmeichel. Oh, he's done it twice. He's done it twice. From Mason Mount. Schmeichel, man of the match, if Leicester win this. Two worldies. Oh. I thought he dropped it there. Watch this back from Mason Mount. Oh, God. It's such a good save. He's at full stretch. He's got such strong hands as well. Look how strong his hand is there. Oh, that's two. Two full stretch. Class saves. I mean, with Schmeichel, I suppose the thing is, like, people think, well, why has he never gone to a bigger club? But at Leicester, he's a legend at Leicester, isn't he? If Leicester win this, I think he's probably stole man of the match because he's made two absolute world-class saves that were both going to go in. So for me, I think Schmeichel's just stolen the show. How old is Kasper Schmeichel? That's a good point. Has he got another move in him? 34, probably not. Get him at United. Well, this is why United shouldn't be getting rid of De Gea. De Gea's 30. Schmeichel's 34. And people think De Gea's over the hill. It's crazy, isn't it? Two minutes of normal time to go. Then we're into stoppage time. They've hit a lovely long ball by Thiago Silva. And it's gone in. What a ball. 1-1. Wes Morgan scores an own goal. Somebody said they would score. And they've done it. And Chelsea are over the moon. What a ball by Thiago Silva. What a ball by Thiago Silva that was. I've got to say, 1-1. Chelsea over the moon. Watch this back. I saw Chilwell make the move. Is he offside? I don't think so. Again, you don't want him to be offside for that. It's lucky, but it's the ball by Thiago Silva that makes it. VAR's having a look. Well, they're checking it for offside. I mean, it's to be honest, it looks quite close. It's offside. Oh my God! He's given offside. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I've got to say, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I actually I want Leicester to win, but I feel sorry for unbelievable. He's like off by an inch. Unbelievable. I'm going to say this now. and I'm going to say it totally fairly, if I was a United fan and the Tielemans goal, I would have said, well, that's a handball. To then be robbed of an equaliser because of a bloody millimetre offside, you've got... I didn't want that. I wanted extra time. I think that's harsh, really. It's right. It's the right decision because it's technically going to be offside. But on that, unbelievable drama. There's drama. Off is off. Exactly. Off is off. You can't argue with it. It's offside. I'm just saying. I wish it wasn't offside because I'm looking forward to extra time. But from Leicester's point of view, it was a bit of a lucky goal. But what a ball by Thiago Silva. And Chilwell, he's so unlucky because he's timed his run to almost perfection. The ball by Thiago Silva was world class. But it's offside. It's offside. It remains 1-0 to Leicester. Will Chelsea get another go? We've still got about another 3 or 4 minutes here. Well, we've got arguments in the live comments. Off is off. It's off. It's off. But then people are saying a handball's a handball. Why didn't they get the handball? I've got to say, though, the Tielemans one should never have been given off. You don't want to miss a goal like that for a bloody accidental handball. What a final. We've had 2 world-class saves from Schmeichel. We've had a world-class goal by Tielemans. We've had a Chelsea late equaliser that I think everyone thought was going to get given. Then VAR steps in again. I mean, this is the world we live in football, though. I don't like this world. I don't like VAR. I never wanted VAR. I don't like VAR. People will say, well, it makes bad decisions be right decisions. But what if they had given that handball for the Tielemans one and we hadn't got that great goal? But their live comments echoes out with off is off and off is off and it is offside. And Chelsea's FA Cup hopes are disappearing off at the moment. And what you've also got to acknowledge the pass by Tielemans, the pass by Thiago Silva is fantastic. The run by Chilwell, albeit slightly offside, is brilliant. But the cross is a little bit fortunate how it ends up in the back of the net. It's not like it's a cross and a Giroud smashes it in. It's a cross and it deflects in. Tielemans' goal, if it hits hand first, it's a handball, but it doesn't. It comes off his leg. Chelsea goal, off his off, says Jack Oliver. There you go. He's a trained ref. I don't know whether he is or not, really, but Leicester here. Vardy. He'll take the corner, surely. He will. He'll take the corner. But off is off. But it doesn't make it an unbelievable wow moment because I think for many of us, we thought Chelsea had the late equaliser and extra time was incoming. That's the wow moment. That's the unbelievable moment. The reality is off. You're right. But I don't think many of us realised it was offside for quite a while. And Chelsea certainly didn't as they were celebrating in the corner. Offside is offside. Tuchel can't believe it. We've still got a couple of minutes left. There's a Leicester fan crying. Long ball. Up goes Sionku. Back into Maddison. They need to get the ball back, Chelsea here. Maddison gives it back to Chelsea. They've still got time. Can they find a cross? Hudson-Odoi. Back heel into Havertz. They've got so many players on the pitch now, Chelsea. No more than the regulated 11, but can they find a wide ball to put a cross into the box? Kante against his former club. I forgot about that. We could have talked about it a lot. Here comes the cross. Up goes Wes Morgan. VAR is my new hero. Manchester is red, says Wan. We've nearly hit 5 minutes. I'm sure he'll add another minute or two on because of VAR. Another big cross. Sionku reads it. Maddison, he's got to go for it. Goes to Reece James into Hudson-Odoi. And he's blown it! He added 5 seconds on! 5 seconds on! Surely there was another minute to be added on. But there he is, Brendan Rodgers. He's not bottled this. Leicester FA Cup winners here tonight in the FA Cup, funnily enough. Schmeichel's celebrating. Tielemans is celebrating. Leicester is celebrating. I think a lot of other people are celebrating as well. I'm very happy for Leicester. I did want Leicester to win because at the end of the day, Chelsea are more of a rival to Manchester United. But, you know, I do feel a little bit for Chelsea because of that goal being chalked off. But off is off. And I think that man, Peter Schmeichel, his son, Kasper Schmeichel and Tielemans, they deserve it. Pure joy and elation for Leicester. And fans in the ground as well. Sultan says, I swear if it was a team other than Chelsea, it would have been given. Well, I don't know about that, Sultan. Off is off, as we know. But the lad who won the 500 quid, well done as well. Of course, Leicester have had their own tragedy. The owner of Leicester. Our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Tragically killed, flying out of Leicester Stadium in a helicopter. We all remember that. He'd taken them to the title. He'd seen them win the title. Well, they've now won a cup as well. Premier League and an FA Cup in the last few years for Leicester City. It's the stuff things are dreams. It's the stuff dreams are made of. And they've done it. I mean, look, they were never unlikely to do it. I don't think they were ever unlikely to do it. They were capable of doing it and they have done it. But Chelsea will have been the favourites. How do Chelsea bounce back from this? Their second FA Cup final loss in a row. Arsenal beat them last year. Leicester beat them this year. And is that a bigger worry for Chelsea? Because in 2 weeks' time, they've got a Champions League final against Man City. On Tuesday night, they've got a Premier League game against Chelsea. Chelsea are so bang average, we're levels above, says Robert McCormack. I love Leicester as a club and look at their owner celebrating like a true fan. If only United had that, says Virgil Moore. Unbelievable stuff. It's not unbelievable that Leicester have won. I don't want to make it out like it's Wimbledon beating Liverpool in '88, but I just mean that drama in the last few minutes was... I really thought it was going to get done. And I tell you what a nice moment as well, because last year's FA Cup final, there was no one there for Arsenal, were there? This year, you've got, what? How many did we say? 20,000 fans there? And then players for Leicester, they get to go down to the fans and celebrate with them. Lovely stuff. The amount of love the owners of Leicester have, the Glazers should learn a thing or two from them, says Balu. Well, it's a football club being run by people who want to be successful as football clubs. That's what you've got there. Just soaking up the atmosphere here. And look, across the game, we spoke about it before the game. I predicted Chelsea would win 3-1. But the other alternative was that this would be a tight game with one goal winning it. And ultimately, that's what happened. One goal won it. A lot at stake. Both teams well organised. Both playing with effectively a back five. Hardly any chances in the game. Midfield battle. Kante and Jorginho against Ndidi and Tielemans. Strong defence against strong defence. And not a lot going on. Not a lot of action going on. And the game won by... 2 very good saves by Schmeichel and a world-class hit by Tielemans. Not a vintage FA Cup final, but certainly an FA Cup final we'll remember for 3 really big moments. Chelsea not creating those moments. Chelsea not really doing enough. And the great thing for Chelsea is that they've got a Champions League final in 2 weeks. And if you said to Chelsea, would you rather win the FA Cup or the Champions League? They'd say Champions League. They'll be disappointed now, but you've got to suck it up and say, look, we don't want to be in that position. We don't want to be perennial losers. they could end up outside the top four and not winning the Champions League and in the Europa League. So they've got to come back and work stronger. Imagine your owner cheering from the stands, says Troy Saws. Football is amazing, says Yusuf. Barry Burton says Leicester didn't deserve that at all. Disgusting by the officials. They should be fired. Well, look, I said at the time, I don't think that should have been a handball for the Tillemans goal. You can't be going back for handballs to destroy a moment like that. It's refreshing to see fans on the field, Mark, says Paul. And as for the offside, I mean, look, don't talk to me about offsides. You just never know now. When I saw it, I thought that can't be offside, and then the next thing they're looking at it, and it is. Mark, will there be an extra spot for the Europa League now that Leicester have won the FA Cup and then they finish in the top four, says Sakin? I presume there will be, yeah. I know that probably matters to teams like Everton and Spurs and stuff. But some people saying Chelsea robbed. I mean, I presume off is off. That's all I would say about that. Talking of which, I'm off. I've got a show to do at 8 o'clock, United Stand. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really enjoyed that. Well done to Leicester. Look, hopefully Chelsea bounce back because I want Chelsea to beat Man City in 2 weeks. So hopefully Chelsea can take that disappointment and, they've got to start creating more chances. That's their problem. But look, thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're on that road to 400k and I'm on the United Stand at 8 o'clock. Lots to talk about there as well. I'll see you in a bit. Thanks for watching.